away at the soul, bit by bit. And the worst kind of regret? It's not losing someone. It's realizing they're better off without you. That's the regret you'll leave them with. Not through anger, not through revenge, but through the quiet, undeniable truth of your absence. Here's a harsh truth. The best revenge isn't being remembered, it's being forgotten. Because when someone forgets you, it means you've taken away the one thing they thought they had: significance. They wanted to be the hero in your story, or maybe the villain. Either way, they wanted a role. But when you go silent, when you move on without them, you strip them of that role. You reduce them to a footnote, a forgotten chapter in a book that's still being written. And that's a wound time won't heal. You want logic? Let's break it down. Biology. Humans are wired for connection. We crave attention, validation, acknowledgement. Silence disrupts that. It creates a void, and nature abhors a void. They'll try to fill it, but they won't know how. And in their confusion, they'll unravel. Psychology. Ever heard of projection? People project their fears, insecurities, and failures onto others. Your silence becomes a mirror, forcing them to confront their own reflection. And let me tell you, most people can't handle what they see. Sociology. Society runs on noise, gossip, arguments, endless chatter. It's all just noise. But silence stands out. It's rare. It's powerful, and it demands attention. When you're silent, you control the narrative. And in a world obsessed with being heard, being silent is the ultimate act of defiance. Let's talk about pain. Not the kind they inflicted on you, that's old news. I'm talking about the kind you're going to inflict on them. And no, I don't mean violence. I don't mean chaos. I mean the kind of pain that comes from realizing they were wrong. The kind of pain that comes from seeing you rise while they sink. Your silence is the currency of that pain. Every moment you don't respond, every time you walk away, you're making an investment. And trust me, the return on that investment is devastating. They'll feel it in every empty room, every sleepless night, every awkward pause in conversation. Because silence doesn't just hurt, it lingers. Do you know what they'll say about you one day? They'll call you strong, they'll call you mysterious. They'll wonder how you did it, how you stayed so calm while the world tried to tear you apart. And the truth is, you didn't just survive, you thrived. Because silence isn't just a weapon, it's a legacy. When you're gone, they'll tell stories about you. Not the kind they tell about loud, angry people. No, your story will be different. They'll talk about the way you stood tall, the way you faced them without a word, the way your silence spoke louder than any scream ever could. So, what's it gonna be? Are you gonna waste your energy on people who don't deserve it, or are you gonna let your silence do the talking? Because trust me, kid, your silence will break them in ways anger never could. It'll haunt them, it'll change them, and it'll set you free. You don't need their validation. You don't need their approval. All you need is the strength to stay quiet, to stay focused, to rise above. And when you do, they'll never forget you, even if you forget them. You ever notice how the loudest people are always the weakest? They shout, they scream, they throw tantrums like children. They think the volume of their voice equals the weight of their words, but it doesn't. It just shows how desperate they are to be heard. Real strength, it doesn't shout. It doesn't need to. Strength is silent. It's the calm in the eye of the storm, the unshakable foundation when the world is crumbling. And that silence, it terrifies people because they can't figure it out. They can't predict what's coming next. That's the thing about being silent. It's not passive, it's strategic. Every time you hold your tongue, every time you choose not to react, you're planting seeds of doubt in their mind. You're making them question everything. And that's when you've already won. People like to play games. Mind games, emotional games, power games. They'll push your buttons, poke at your insecurities, just to see how far they can go. And most people, they fall for it. They react. They play along, but not you, not anymore. See, when you refuse to play their game, you're not just walking away. You're flipping the board. You're showing them that their tricks don't work on you. And nothing frustrates a manipulator more than losing control. They'll try harder, get louder, get nastier. But the harder they try, the weaker they look. And you just keep walking, silent, unbothered, invincible. Here's a little secret about people. They hate looking in the mirror, not the physical kind, the emotional one. They hate being confronted with their flaws, their failures, their fears. And that's exactly what your silence does. It turns into a mirror, forcing them to see themselves for who they really are. Think about it. When someone lashes out at you, when they try to hurt you, it's not really about you. It's about them. It's their own insecurities, their own pain spilling over. And when you don't react, when you just stand there, silent and strong, you're holding up that mirror. You're making them face the very things they've been running from. And trust me, most people would rather burn the world down than face themselves. Picture this, a fortress, tall, impenetrable, surrounded by walls so thick nothing can break through. That's what your silence is. It's a fortress they can't breach, no matter how hard they try. They can yell, they can scream, they can throw everything they have at you, but those walls, they don't even crack. And here's the best part. While they're exhausting themselves trying to break you, you're conserving your energy. You're growing stronger. You're building. And when the dust settles, when they're left standing in the rubble of their own chaos, you'll still be standing, untouched, unbothered, victorious. Now, don't get me wrong, silence isn't easy. It's not for the weak. It takes strength, discipline, and patience. Because the truth is, silence comes at a price. It's lonely. It's isolating. It makes you question yourself, but that's the point. Silence forces you to face yourself, to confront your own demons. And in doing so,